The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the R.I.F. Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you could need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Good evening, travelers and those alike. Welcome to this episode right here on the R.I.F. Nation Network of the Orion Effect. I am the quintessential cosmic surfer himself, the Hitman.
And I'm Rhonda Harris.
Welcome to our show.
Yes.
Let us tickle your brain. Ooh, tickle.
Coochie coo.
Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome. You know what? I'm not even going to say it. All the travelers are always welcome, and we thank you for participating with us show after show after show.
Yep.
For those who are constantly here, those of you that catch the archive, those that want to really see what we have going on and what our subjects are, we thank you very much. It's a wonderful show. Tonight's show is brought to you by Ghost of Stanton, Virginia. That is a tour that is in the Shenandoah Valley at the the wonderful city known as Stanton, Virginia. Come check it out. It is an all year round. And, ooh, that's a three and. Here we go. Here's a really special thing. It is September. And for those of you in the Shenandoah Valley, those of you in Virginia, what does that mean? Well, that means what's coming at the end of this month. First, yes, there is the Langley Air Show. Nope, Oceana. Yes, there's a lot of good things going on. But, three, but, four, but the last weekend of this month is the Wizards Weekend in Stanton, Virginia.
Nice.
All the wizards and witches come out. You get dressed up. You participate in this Harry Potter type style event. I said style so that we don't get in trouble. However, yes, it's going to be exciting. Sarah and I will be participating.
Nice.
Yes, yeah. So if you're in Virginia, this is a perfect time.
I've never heard of that. Have they had that for a while?
It's been going on for several years now.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can dress up for you Harry Potter and you even your Gothic fans, you those of you that are really into wizardry and magic.
Yeah. I would totally go.
Gotta come down. It's going to be a really great time. We are looking forward to it. My brother and his wife may be joining us too, so that'd be really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so yes. Other than that, we've been really trying to hit the spot and make things happen. We have got some special things going on here at the network and a little bit more.
We do.
Yes, we do. A little bit more magic. You can do magic. Boop, boop. So definitely looking forward to it. We want to also acknowledge finally Christina Spencer.
Yes. Her inaugural show went off and it was fabulous.
She really did a great job. Very proud of her. She's
Good
been here
job.
before, but this is going to be her show.
Yeah.
It's, really good. I also think that she may bring back the Tales from the Old Rocking Chair as a
Nice.
month. Yeah, so
That'd be nice every so often. Yeah.
that was a really
That
good
was
show.
fun. Yeah.
So, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to hand the reins on over to you. What do we got going on? What do you got going on? What's going on? What's going on for you the next 2 months?
Oh my gosh, the next September is always a crazy month, but we've got a lot of things going on. October's a little, I don't even want to say it's quiet because it's probably not, but we've got Spirits Festival at Belgrove Plantation next weekend. We've got the weekend after that. I might be at the beach. I'm not sure. And then the following weekend, we've got Sage Paracon out at Belgrove Plantation. So September is just chocked full. And then November, it picks up just a little bit again. I feel like there's something I'm doing at the beginning of November. And then we're our team is going to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in the beginning of November.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be traveling to that in Penn State from what I understand.
Yeah. So,
I think these are
That's
great
fun.
things. This is going to be your first time at Trans?
yes.
Oh, you will not be disappointed. It is a fun time. It is.
Yep. As usual, I want to know nothing.
Oh, I'm not telling you shit.
I don't want anything till I get there, but I'm excited about that one.
It is a very good time. A lot of these locations you go to really offer some really good stuff. There's other locations and maybe not, but that's part of business.
Well, and it depends on what you look at that, because sometimes you may go and there's nothing. That doesn't mean that location doesn't have anything to offer. It just means it didn't that evening.
Exactly.
You know?
That's exactly right. You beat me to the punch, you did. Thank you, madam. Appreciate it. No. But yeah, it's very true. It is very true, especially with this season and all the energy that's floating around all the way up through November, maybe into December.
Yeah.
A lot of changes going to be taking place. Some good, some not so good.
Uh-oh.
Buckle down. Get ready. Play it through.
Do we have stuff coming at us again?
I think there's going to be a little stuff coming out. I really do. I feel it. There's a lot of tension in the air again. And I'm thinking, interesting. And this is a perfect show to talk about that. I mean, here we are. We just went through 2019 and 2020 and 2021, talking about the killer bees of doom that, Hey, okay, the scare effect, the flying spiders that suddenly never showed up. Um, you know,
Killer hornets,
yeah, killer
flying
hornet
spiders.
waiting for the shapeshifters to come in and take your
Oh
soul.
yeah, yeah. The skinwalkers were supposed to come to get us all, right?
Exact. Yes. Yes. So, whatever the government can do, they're attempting or have attempted, and they're not done yet, I'm sure. But as you're going to find out tonight, this is not by any means the first time that this has happened. And there's going to be some other interesting things that are going to be pulled out of the time wormhole tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So we have some really good stuff. But again, I'm going to let you acknowledge everybody and let's get that ball
Yeah,
rolling.
if you're in chat, please say hi so we know you're here with us. But hello, Heidi and Renee and Ryan. And I think that's all I see in chat, but I know there's more than that out there. So y'all start talking a little bit. We got some
Yes,
good stuff to chat about. We want your feedback.
that's right. That's right. It does show that the number is a little low tonight.
Which is strange.
Yes, it really is. But last week it was low too. But we had
Oh, you know what tonight is?
what's that?
First day of like the first full day of football. That's probably
Is this
kind of-
football tonight?
Yeah, it's the first Sunday of football too. Everybody I know has been talking about watching their game, and when I went to the grocery store, there was nobody there on a Sunday. It's usually packed, and they were like, "Yeah, everybody's watching football." They were all here at like 10 o'clock this morning getting their stuff, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm not
Okay.
complaining because I didn't have any lines to stand in.
That's right. Exactly. And sports are sports and it's not for everybody. So if it's
Yeah,
not for you, we've got your show for you.
that's
I
right.
also,
That's
yeah,
right.
I also know that there's other shows that are taking place at this moment. So if hopefully you enjoy those shows and come on over and hang out with us. We've
Yeah.
got a lot of energy for you. Trust us.
Heidi said, I've honestly noticed that in most shows. It's kind of September is a busy month, and I know it like historically for me, being like doing the show with you, doing the podcast and doing paranormal, it seems like I swear every year, every week in September has something going on. And I don't know if that's just from all the kids going back to school and like people are ramping up early, like you're finding more fall festivals and stuff starting earlier rather than waiting until like October. So I'm not sure, but it just seems like everybody's really busy right now, and I'm not sure why, but that's why we record these things so you can go watch them later.
Exactly. Thank you. That's right. Check out the archive. It's right here for you.
I miss a lot of our counterparts on this network. I miss them live, because the nights I don't have live, I'm usually focusing on doing something else. I'm taking like a class on Monday nights. I'm doing different things, and so a lot of times I'm listening in while I'm working. During the day, I'll find one and just let it run while I'm working. So it's very nice to have that. So if you haven't taken advantage of that feature we have, you really should.
And we've gotten a little better, so that means you can go to more places.
That's right.
Because, let's put it there. Raven did a great job of getting the formats and getting us out there. And now Ryan C. Jones has taken us to the next step.
Yes, he is.
Back. Yes, we're back in podcasting on podcast airs on Spotify and more. So,
hard pressed not to find us.
That's right. Hard pressed. If you can't find us, something's wrong. Something is wrong. And if there's a problem, come find us. We'll tell you all about it. I almost said something I shouldn't have said. Oops. All right. Actually, I can say it. Because this might be funny because some people will actually find the humor in this one. So I would just say, we're like a Jew. Ask us anything. We'll tell you all about the book. So, yes, on that note, I had to do it. That was a Lewis joke there, so I had to pull that out. Uh-oh, what do we got? County fairs, football, Renaissance festivals.
That is true. It is time for Renaissance festivals.
I haven't seen. We need to get some. Lots of going on. I agree. I totally agree with that. So,
yeah,
that's all right. That's all right because we are your alternative entertainment.
Yes.
So tonight, what's tonight? Tonight is about the weird, the strange, the unusual, what you thought you might have known and maybe what you didn't know. Well, the cosmic reporter here went digging, and I went flying.
Uh-oh.
Took my surfboard and
Took
went.
his surfboard out and started stopping around looking in for weirdos.
I did. I was like,
Just kidding.
hey, is there one there? Hey, I got to get the news. Come on, let's go. No, I did. And it was fun. And I don't know if you were able to get in a story or two, but
I wasn't because I tried. And what I realized is I needed to really like just Googling strange happenings. I was getting a little bit, but most that would come up was like videos to watch videos. And I just did not. When you wait till Saturday evening to start this, like I didn't get very far.
that's okay. Because sometimes you do have to do some diving.
Yeah, like it really did. But it was like the stuff I was seeing, I was like, well, that's interesting.
Right.
But I would have had to watch the video. I was like, well, what the heck? But I might have something to feed in there. So we'll get going and see.
Well, that's some interesting things. Some of this has come out of the Y-Files, some from Angry Astronaut, some from the history, others from vaults, including the FBI vault. So it's going to be very interesting. I learned some stuff either. And
FBI vault. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And I found something else that some of this I may be connected to. That's our first story tonight, which
what you got? That's cool.
Yeah, I was on the phone with Robert this week, and he and I were talking about it and comparing notes, and he's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, it is going to be very interesting. So we're going to jump right into it if you wish, and we can, because we got something planned for you again. Bam! That would be, ladies and gentlemen, the Aleutian Islands. This is the islands just off of the west coast of America. These are also the islands, if you will, that the Americans were defending and trying to keep the Japanese troops from taking over during World War II. Now, why are we talking about the Aleutian Islands? Well, that's a very good question. I'm going to ask that myself. Why? Why? Well, Rhonda, I don't know if you remember my father and how he was and how he could tell, interesting stories and things like that.
Yes, I do. Very much so.
Well, again, in talking with Robert this week, I found out something and I think I've got a clue. Now, Dad used to talk about how there was an underground base in Alaska.
Okay.
He told us this all the time. He talked about it. This is where the blue box was. Hey, Keith, thank you, sir. This is where the code-breaking boxes were and other things. And that's interesting because even up to this day, there is nothing signifying a military installation that's underground in Alaska. Now, why would my father say that? Why would he talk to us about it? Again, the word talk to us about it. That being me and Robert and any other family member, especially the uncles, sitting around that table, talking and listening to his stories. Thank you, brother. And it was very interesting because he jumps from Aleutian Islands to Alaska to Tangier, back, and all over. Now, the other thing is, he was on the last ship that was recorded. It's a secret, exactly. He was a part of the last ship that supposedly was hit by a torpedo. Okay, yet it be Japanese or German, and that would. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
That would be the Yukon on the West Coast. Now, the interesting part about this is when I was talking to our good friend, the doctor, several weeks ago, we communicated. He said the only ship that was recorded as the one ship to be last taken down by a torpedo was the Shenandoah. Now, that's on the Atlantic side.
Right.
Intriguing. Okay. Well, here it is. it's like been a fairy tale thing going on here. Where am I at now? I'm in Shenandoah. This is the Shenandoah Valley in which I am. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Pieces of puzzles and puzzles of pieces. Well, everything's coming together, I do believe, the way it should have been. Now I've got to listen. I got to pay more attention. I got to go back into those three-ring binders of all of his notes. I have it all, everything. The one thing I do not have is our father's discharge papers, which,
Really?
yep, but we as a family do have them. So
Okay.
yeah, so we have proof of who he was, what he did, and how he was discharged from the Army Air Corps at the time as an intel officer. He was a cryptographer. You know what that is?
No.
Okay, this is a individual that is highly intuitive in the math and science areas.
Okay.
Actually, in the math areas, and they were the code breakers of World War II.
Oh.
So they were the hoo-hoo-hoos, but the
Yeah.
so I'm like, this is interesting. So I'm listening to this. I'm listening to some of the stories that he told us, and I came across something today that we may talk about or we may bring into another show. We'll see. But this is a very interesting one, and I'm going to call this the hazy story. We'll leave it at that. And if we get to it tonight, we'll talk about the haze. And if some of you might already know what I'm talking about, but if we don't, we will talk about it more. But let's talk about the Aleutian Islands real quick. That's what we were talking about. So, what happened? Why is the Aleutian Islands on the show? Where are we talking about it right now? The military itself, for the longest time, denied any sort of information leading to UAPs, UFOs, possible intelligence from outside of our world. I love how that goes. So this is interesting. Slowly, as we know, little information started coming out here and there. What could they not stop? Foo Fighters. They were talking about these objects that were flying around this one gentleman who was flying back and forth. And what he looked like. Well, what I came across this week was something more interesting that they did not put out, but they did quietly. Hello, Jen. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Jen.
What I found out is Aleutian Islands in 1945, the summer of 1945, at the height of 1,100 oceanic feet, 100 small hand. Let me get this. 4 crew members on the Delabro Army Transport. The Delabro, Deleroh. And I have something for you guys. Look at this. Look. I cannot wait. Check this out. You think that's good, do you? Well, that's the ship right there, right? Well, what did they have? Well, they had PBY. That's what that is, a PBY. So there's artwork of it. And I'm finding this very intriguing that this part, as you see right here, the boat that was right there and the sailors, these were military, armed transport, military gentlemen that were coming from the island of Adeke. Okay? Adeke, Adeke. All right. These 4 UFO-like objects, you like the word I use that, UFO-like objects, circled this vessel for over an hour at the latitude and altitude of 100 to 1,100 feet. Now, how did they?
Wow, that's not very high up at all.
No, it was not. They were very close to the vessels.
Yeah.
Now, this is what's going to get really interesting to this, and this has to do with a little bit of us. Now, I'm gonna leave the PBY up there because that has something completely different. A PBY is a Army Air Corps aircraft that can land in the water. There was another one, but this one was the specific during World War II. This is one of the planes that my father flew. What took place is for over an hour, these objects span and dove into the water, popped out of the water, circled this vessel for a long period of time at those lengths. Now, how did they get the footage? Well, of course, they have the special equipment to diagnose, and I'm not even going to remember the name of it because my brain is completely going so fast. But I'm going to bring this back up here. The interesting part to all of this is why was this so significant? And that's the intriguing part. What makes it significant to the point of being brought up? I'm going to get these back up here and get these set. Well, evidently, these are the same objects that our good friend, and I like to say that good friend, but he is a Virginian. What? Took an entire naval fleet to where? Not to Alaska, but to the North Pole. Admiral Byrd. And in that, they only lasted a week and returned home with ship damage. This is documented, by the way, so this is what trips me out. Here's the story that I'm bringing this up for. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
And hey, Kevin, thank you for joining.
What's up, Kev? What? So this is the interesting part. The linkage of the, if you would, hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, Mike.
The description of these objects comparatively to the descriptions that the crew of the fleet that Admiral Byrd had described. Now get this. This is the interesting part. Why are they trying to discredit Admiral Byrd's interactions of maybe coming across something there when there's physical evidence of a attack of some form from another object on that fleet? And by the way, when the fleet returned, I'm not going to give the dates or any of that. I'm just going to keep talking about that because I don't want to bore you guys with it. However, on their return, why did the fleet come back damaged? Why was it limping back? They had squadrons of aircraft. They had destroyers. They had frigates. A lot of these ships were damaged in some way, form, or another. The military has still yet to talk about it. What? Think about that. Why is the military not talking about it, but yet, we talk about a boat that people were fused to during its jump that never happened from Norfolk to Pennsylvania to Philly. Oh, that never happened. Philadelphia experience, no such thing. But we got medical records saying that people, men were fused to the ship and they had to cut the human body parts off the ship. So, going back to Admiral Byrd claimed that he went and flew into a cave-like system, and he called it the gateway to the center of Earth. He was able to fly a plane into this hole. And in doing that, as he was flying over, he saw green pastures. Now, this was documented in his diary, not the notes, because the notes, he was pushed by a court martial not to say anything. Keep your mouth shut. Bang, bang. Okay, let's continue. So he flies through these meadows. He's giving a description of unusual like animals. The atmosphere, how it was different. And then how he comes across this crystal-like city. Not building, not a couple of towns, a city of crystal, defined. And as he does this, two like objects come up beside left and right of him and basically tell him he's got to go down. They do information. Okay,
Right.
Things know how to communicate.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going down, but then the controls of his plane get taken. He has no control over his plane. He supposedly lands at this location and goes to meet. They take me to your leader. Well, evidently to the high chief or whoever was here. And he was talking to Admiral Byrd, and he wanted to take Admiral Byrd and have Admiral Byrd deliver a message to mankind. It stated we're not happy with what you're doing to the world. We are not happy with what you are using that energy for. We don't like how you're killing each other. You need to find a focal point to come together before the end of your species happens. Okay, interesting. Animal Bird has, okay, I'm out. So while he's there, that's when the fleet got attacked. And now this is interesting part. Thanks, Jonathan. The other interesting part: some of these flying aircraft kind of look like the Nazi bell. Hmm. A lot of the signatures and signs and insignias in this location were of Nazi, not German, not German, Nazi influence. Okay. So, Rhonda, let's talk about this. And in chat, let's talk about this. How much do you know about the Nazi regime and what they did and how they used things?
I mean, not a lot. I mean, basic stuff, but not a lot.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's honest. Well, the interesting part to a lot of this is the Nazis, the Nazi regime, was using ruins, RUIN, so people, my accent, ruins, okay, and symbols from our ancient history.
Ruins or runes?
Ruins,
Okay.
okay, I know, see, told you.
RUNES. Gotcha. Okay.
So, there we go. So the interesting part is, of course, Hitler was trying to gather all of the magical items of the world. Okay, so that's interesting. But the intent of the Nazis was to gather everything so they could take control. Now, supposedly, they had inner contact with supposedly this outside life forms. That's not proven. It's just an idea. It's just been talked about. But it is interesting how the Nazis went from to Aiga and technology. And some of these people were amazing. Hey, Renee, welcome. Hello, good to see you. Everybody, hello, everybody. So, as far as that goes, it is interesting that the unseen aircraft at both locations, both separate times, definitely, World War II and after World War II, exploration team, and the government never talked about the damage of the fleet, but they tried to discredit Admiral Byrd. Now, Admiral Byrd is and for those who don't know, Admiral Byrd is who the Richmond International Airport was named after.
Right.
Originally, it was Byrd Airport. Um, that's another thing. I when I was talking to Jennifer Milton, she gave me a lot of information, a lot of stuff, when it left the museum here, went somewhere, and and I know where it went, and they hid the fact that they did it. All of Admiral Byrd's stuff is gone.
Oh my.
They say they don't know where it went. They do know Crates and Crates went to the Smithsonian Institute.
Of course it did.
Of course it did. So, interesting little connections there, folks. Everywhere. I'm going to let you get up and chat before
Yeah, I'm backing up now because I've seen some good stuff come through.
We're rolling.
Okay. Kevin said, today I started doubting anything they say about Voyager 1. Is it that allegedly reached a firewall at the edge of our solar system after it went through those rocks past Pluto? What like as if exactly. It never crashed into something by now.
Mm-hmm.
He said, didn't the Sumerians use that same symbol?
Yes.
Kevin's like me, not so much either. Hey, Renee Odell Hart, how are you?
My cousin is in the house. My cousin's in the house.
She said, I think so, but so did the Egyptians and some Native American tribes, and the South American people did too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jen said the Smithsonian black hole.
We've got to put that up there.
That
And
is not wrong.
it's not wrong because look what they've done with the 10-foot giants. Oh, you didn't know about it? Well, of course you don't because the Smithsonian took everything and are denying it. Look what they've done to many races of humans or of that suddenly you don't know about. Well, you don't know
Right.
about it because they don't want you to know about it. Where's it gone? Smithsonian. The locations and the materials found in the Grand Canyons. Well, there's a reason why you can't find it and why it's closed off because the Smithsonian's got it. Hey, would I put it past? Oh, this brings me up to one story before we continue. Oh boy, we're gonna have to have another show for this. I got 5 papers.
That's good.
Yeah. We're gonna do this really good. I like this too because we're building a foundation on clockwork.
Yeah.
These are little things that will paste clockwork together. Hold on, right here. Lots of things that disappear.
Mike said lots of things disappear at the Smithsonian.
You know what? That is no lie, and
That's how they erase history, right? The museum, the National Museum of History erases things that way.
You know what? By law, we can say that because it is truth.
Smithsonian has to have a huge underground bunker for everything they've stolen and hidden.
Now, it makes you wonder if they're going to try to use they've stolen or taken in the name of national security. Ooh.
Probably. I mean, wouldn't you think?
Now, here's the interesting part. We do know that there was a large type bunker beneath. Oh, I'm going with my own words. Beneath, if you will, beneath the Vatican. So, what is it? All these things. What is the? Oh God, this is really going to get some people.
I mean, I think this goes to say, like he said, there's probably a huge underground bunker, but I'm just thinking about the percentage of the Earth that is water and how so much of that water is uncharted and unexplored because it goes so deep.
Okay.
If you knew the right place, you could drop it and it would never be found. Or if it ever is, that could be quite interesting.
Well, so much for that diver who came across a cage off of the shores of Maryland, Virginia, that said, "Do not enter, property of NASA." And as he's sitting there, a huge, huge face came up to the bars, and it was looking like a great white shark, but 5 times the size. Damn! So,
yeah.
If they can do that, they're going to do that. Why not? Let's say Mariana Trench. There's another one. Yeah, you can use that. Why? Who's to say we're not using these locations? Oh, go ahead, Renee. I'm going.
My mother-in-law and I argue about what people are doing now by taking down the statues and I missed it. Hold on. Oh, there we go. My mother-in-law and I argue about the people are taking down the statues and stuff, trying to erase history. I say no matter what people want to get rid of, that history happened and nobody can change or erase what happened in history. I agree with that, but I think there are things they'd want us to forget, if not a lot. Like it's hard to erase what happened with the statues because everybody knows about it. And it's been taught and it will probably go through, generational, but the things that nobody's sure happened.
How does that information get passed on? Because we talk about those
right.
things and people, they become legend and lore based on our stories that we give from this point on.
Right.
Absolutely.
Kevin says, in all of the hype about Atlas 31, I think it's called latest saying that it may be a living spaceship. Headings like "We are in danger." Are we though? How would they know?
Well, you know what? Maybe they're trying to implement Mandela effect. I like that. Maybe they're trying to implement Project Bluebeam. Maybe the only way to actually they think they can control us, just like the church did back in the day, is to put us the fear of, and they're the only ones that could save us.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. And Keith said the history taught in schools is falsified. Correct. The way they wanted to, just like much of well, anything that's been translated, right, has that from old documents and hieroglyphics and stuff. It has the message of whoever did the um, reading of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna keep on rolling because we have 20 minutes, and I have. God, I wish I could have gotten to this story, and it's not going to happen. But let's keep on going with this, sir. Okay, hold on, Renee. Verbal history has happened forever.
Yes.
Maybe it's time to go back to that. Exactly. My thoughts, Howie. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. And I agree with you guys. And it is how it has to be. So our government has said they don't know anything for years. Remember, they had no clue, and even all the way up to our secret NSI, NSA, and FBI departments. They weren't told. They had no idea what was going on. So 1947, 1945, 1943, pre-existing situations from 1920 and prior, but the one man who would have all this information to make sure that there's no communists coming to our country, the Red Scare, Edgar Hoover, the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, right? So here's the interesting part. He lied. 100% lied. And now the fact is, he knew what was taking place. He knew it. There's the files. 1950. March 22nd, 1950. Edgar Hoover was informed of 3 UFOs in the government hands and had been recovered in New Mexico. That's not even in that file that you're looking at. He knew. And did you hear what the words? I'm going to show you the documents, you guys. We got, well, you got that. We'll come back to that one. Let's trust me. This one here. And there was another one. I'll try to bring that up a little bit later. But Edgar Hoover knew exactly who, what, when, and where when it came to UFO and UAP history. Now, here's an interesting part. Ooh, this is interesting. Did you know the military used the word UAP up to the point that the doctor came on board to do the Project Blue Book? Project Blue Book was he using the name UFO. That took on from him all the way through, all the way up to 5 years ago. Why all of a sudden you're going to lose the name UFO and go back to UAP? Anybody else thought about this and going, what?
No, I really haven't, but I just thought I did remember thinking, well, that's just stupid. It's just like apples, like
Right? Makes no sense. Who cares if it's UFO? Well, no, it's a UAP. Why do you have to be specific? It's interesting to me. And that's the military. Sometimes it's their little inkering of giving you positive to mislead you into a negative. Like
right. The only thing I could think of, and this sounds really petty and it sounds really stupid coming out of my mouth, but is that because that doctor was the one who relabeled it, right? And they started using the new terminology, is that somewhere they figured that family would come after for some sort of monetary gain for the licensing of the name that was being used by the government.
Oh, that is very interesting that you would use that. Hold on one second. Let me get this. That is very interesting you say that. I have never thought about that point.
Because if it was always called something, then a new name came in and he was a doctor, I'm assuming some sort of scientist. Maybe they were thinking about they would patent it or something, I don't know.
Well, that's intriguing. Could he have patented the word?
I don't
know.
Can you patent a word? Like if you, I guess you can.
Yep, you sure can.
Or if there was in the process, that's how they would, and then they could say, well, that's the term we were using.
Yep. Ooh, hence the accuracy of engineers, elder history.
Indigenous elder history, exactly.
Yes, Keith, I see that vid 2 been coming up in my feeds as well. Oh, I'm gone. So, I mean, we really wanted to talk about these things. That's what the shows are about. Copyright. Yeah, absolutely copyright. And there's another one, but I can't remember. Patent can is a verbal patent. There's another name for it. But it looks like we're going to get to one more story tonight. And this is a really interesting one. I think we'll get into this. This story is about Rudolph Fentz. Okay, for those who may not know or are familiar with this case, it's going to get really interesting. I'm going to talk to you about it. Let me bring this up for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rudolph Fentz. Okay. This is known as the unknown traveler. In 1950, a gentleman by the name of Randolph Fitz somehow ended up in the middle of Times Square. With that being ended up in Times Square, he had period clothes of the 1800s. Ironic, interesting. The case was definitely brought up, and they're like, "Who is this person?" They did, biopsy. They did all this. They did the check on his clothes. He had an ID on him, and that ID confirmed who he was. He was back, I do believe. Let me get this straight. Let me see if it's 1876. All right. So he was hit by a car in Times Square. He was looking confused and scared. The car hit him. He had items from 1876, including a letter, a business note, and a fresh printed money from 1876. ID showed Dr. Rudolph Fente, 1946, missing 1876. Missing in 1876. Now, here's the interesting part. I'm going to get this out so we can continue. Y'all can see us. Come here. There we go. So here's the interesting part about this case. The medical examiner and the New York district attorney, etc., they went and did a research cold case, right? That cold case is still back there. There was a record of him going missing in 1876. He went completely missing. There was nothing to tell you where he went. His family didn't know. It's like he just vanished, right? Now, here we are. He ends up in the middle of Times Square, pow, just like that, in front of a car in 1950 and gets hit and killed. They go back and do the research. He was senior. Guess who they got their hands on?
Who?
Rudolph Fentz Jr. They did the research, talked to him. They had him come to the morgue, confirmed. His son confirmed his death. Well, confirmed him. He was. He asked the police, how did they find him? What happened? There was no information the police could give him, except for they had a business note, they had a letter, and they had documented money and a strict idea of who he was when the date was. Explain that shit.
I think what would be interesting is if they could have gotten do they have pictures of like what he looked like at the time he went missing and the time he was found?
Yes, and I did not grab this, and that's a
Did he look the same? Like, did he look like he'd aged? Did he look?
No, looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
I've got to see if I can find those.
Yeah, that would be. That's the.
That's not gonna.
Bizarre.
There you go. So there's another one. So
he looks exactly the same.
He looks exactly the same as here.
Huh.
I mean, it's really intriguing. So, and I wanted to bring this up. I caught this too. This is a great book, and if you have the time, please go check
Crash.
Yeah, Time Crash.
I'm writing that down now because this.
And that's by Lester Wolf. Yes.
I'm getting my winter reading books together, so that's definitely going on the list.
I like that. Kevin's like, whoa! Oh, wow.
That is just like one of those. I mean, that's the stuff movies have been made of, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Now, I wanted to bring something out that a popular physicist stated, and I found this to be an interesting comment. That's why I wanted to read this. Do you know what the God thought is?
The what thought?
The God thought.
Uh-uh.
This is an interesting one, you guys. Actually, with through my research through ASSAP, I came across this because one of the professors for the association actually came across this in the thought. And it was American scientist that he spoke with. Check this out. God thought. God thought is the vibration and tones and frequencies of music flowing through the universe. Bam!
Wow.
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 If that is not just freaking awesome, not freaking awesome. That is incredible. So I'm like, I definitely want to share that. I want to share that. Now, we've got other stories, you guys. I've got Andrew Carlson we can talk about. But you know what? Oh, so there's a couple things that I debunked. Let's talk about the ones I debunked real quick.
Okay.
Well, I was able to give some reason to. How many of you remember the Mike Tyson fight, 1993?
Is that the one where he bit the ear?
I think so. I
Okay.
think so. Or was that the after? I can't really remember. This is the first fight he had when he got out of prison.
Okay.
Okay. So this fight only lasted 89 seconds. I'm going to read this real quick. This is Mike Tyson fight. I had to talk about this. I really did. It's a holy shit moment, and as far as I'm concerned. But then I dove into the story and went, wait a minute. Can we debunk sometimes? Sure, that's what our job is as scientists, right? As paranormal
Right.
researchers and spiritualists, we want to debunk things. Well, here you go. Tyson returns to the ring off being released from prison in 1993. The first was posted at 93 seconds. Okay. It was 89, but they said the overall was 93. Now, I found that interesting. 1993, and the fight technically lasted 93 seconds. Intriguing. Keith, come on. I know you're going to say something about that one. I know I did. So, wait. Check this out. Check this out. So, check this part. During the televised fight, a man in the frame is clearly holding a smartphone. Check this out.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, clearly holding a smartphone, right? That you
Right?
see that. It's very interesting. Camera lens shown at top left and was white. Now, this is interesting because I want people to remember something about this. And this is what I came across. And I see somebody came across with my own idea. So I'm going to bring in, let me see if I can get this here. So you can see it right here,
Yeah.
clear as day, right? There's a little bit more. Now, this is what gets me. Okay, look at this 1995 Time Traveler. Okay, so look at this, go back to this. Okay, this is the only thing that breaks me down. So, you guys, you see this one, go back to this one, you see this right here.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
Yeah, that looks like AI.
oh, no, it's not AI. It's not. But I can see your point. Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about right here. You know, that could be. But you know what? Boom. Here's the problem. And let me bring it back up because I used to be a big buyer of this company because I got internet addicted and I got addicted to AOL. All right, I did. A video style degree recorder did come out, yes, by Logitech. Had the style of an iPhone, but that was after AOL's tech boom in 1997,
Okay.
98. Get this, AOL actually was created and online, and guess what? When do y'all think it actually went online?
93. When?
1983.
Oh.
Uh-huh, right? So, and it was not called AOL back then. It was actually, get this, the company's name was actually Quantum Computer Services Incorporated.
Uh-huh.
Dun, dun, dun. Don't you love how this stuff gets going in
You
there?
know, and I was even thinking, like, okay, even if it was something that came out in '94,
Uh-huh.
those fights, even for him back then, it would have been extremely expensive to go to that and be that close to the ring. Who's to say it wasn't somebody part of the company and had the prototype?
Oh, now that's a good point. That's a valid point because I actually had that here. So I'm glad you beat me to it. It's true. It's very true. And I brought some stuff out. This was back in '93. This Casio. All right. There is,
Yeah, there's a lot of similarity
but
there.
there is no flash. It's on. This is shown sideways.
Well, what's funny is one picture shows that it has a flash and the other doesn't.
Right. That's the other thing. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. Exactly. One right here shows this here, this port, but shows nothing on its belly. This is what got.
Right.
If you go back to the original picture, look at that. That looks like what? Come on, guys, you investigators. What makes that on a video camera? That's an LED. That's an LED flash.
I
So,
think I did some doctoring.
yeah, it could be, but there's several of these pictures, and that's why I'm encouraging. I'm not telling you all this what it is. I've given you the ability that say it could be debunked, but I'm also then showing you the possibility. There is no center port in this picture. There is no center port in that picture, but there is no flash in that version of the LED, which could be AI. Again, you're exactly right. But I'm going to look at here. This is the Logitech handheld VidCam. I remember having this. So that's what got me. I'm like, what? It didn't look anything like the pictures did. And of course, the Casio, I wanted to compare. No, nothing. No comparison. None. So that's why I wanted to bring this up to you guys, because I want to end the show on a something that's interesting. Like, it's one of those holy shit moments.
Yeah.
But we all could possibly have an opinion. Can it be something other than what they're trying to say? Yes. I just proved that.
Yeah.
We know AOL was active. We know AOL had its company, and I'm sure it had a technical department. Rhonda stated it could have been a prototype. Very possible.
I mean, what better place to try it out? And if it worked well, well, then you end up using that as footage for look how great this is. Look what it did at the Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been a marketing slam dunk. You know what I mean?
Now, here's the problem. There's nothing to back that up.
Right.
That's the downfall.
Yeah.
We only know that the Logitech came out in '95. That's all we know. We don't know the testing. We don't know any of that. We don't know what it backs support. If we go back and look at it more, if we can get some clearer pictures, maybe we can tell a little bit more. I'm looking off the internet like everybody else, and it just clearly looked. I like that. I like that, Jen. And
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. Is it some kind? Yeah.
I mean, Keith's right. TV show, Travelers. Ah, yes, I like that. I like that as a possible radio
Yeah.
show too.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, it's kind of any way you look at it, because we all know people like to play with photographs, and not even way before AI.
Yeah.
They could use just paint, and like
I
they
can
could
use
make
paint
things happen and make pictures look the way they want to. So there's always been a way to make things look the way you want it to look. So, but we also know that it, at least on this group here that's on watching this podcast, that it is a possibility of time travel.
It is.
So, I mean, is it a possibility? Absolutely.
Have to put that in there. Have to put that in there. Is it
But you would feel like there'd be people, all those people, and this guy pulls out this weird piece of equipment, and he's from the future, that everybody would be like on him, like, what are you doing? What is that? I would
right?
be. I would be.
And I
all
agree.
looking at him like, what is that?
Okay, there you go. That show is what drew me to you when we first met. The word travel.
Traveler.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's what we do, and
Cool.
who we are. We are
I
the
tell you what, our chat was on point tonight. Y'all did great.
love it, you guys. Love it. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Now, when we come back to the odd world, we're going to discuss a few things. We're going to discuss a gentleman who was caught on a bridge that shouldn't have been there. We're going to discuss another gentleman who showed up in 2010 and did some things he shouldn't have done. But it was kind of legal, but illegal from where he came from. Can't tell you anymore. Can't tell you any more than that. But I'm going to leave you with a cliffhanger.
That is a cliffhanger.
Also, we're probably going to definitely talk about some South Fork stuff. We're going to actually talk about Charles. Some of y'all go about Charles.
Which Charles are we talking about?
Charles Hall.
Okay.
And you should know that name.
Charles.
Hall. He's one of the original Ford Sears.
Oh.
So we got some information about that. We got some information on how his information was actually verified through another one of your colleagues and definitely defined. And there's some stuff that we know the government has definitely been lying to us about. Here we go.
I was in Florida on a dead files case in the hotel entrance, scrolling Facebook while looking at the brochures and heard you say the word as I saw it on a brochure. Now, if that isn't a synchronicity, I don't know what it is.
Sometimes the path leads you and sends you into the direction you need to be. Even when we're hard-headed and we don't listen very first.
Yep.
We get there. We get to our spaces. So I look forward to doing a little bit more of the show.
Yeah.
And this show is helped tie in clockwork. So everybody knows when you hear that, see that series, that is about the modern conspiracies chronologically in order. Some of the shows do fall back to support, but we are giving you everything we can. And these little hit hots kind of are the thread of what we're doing. Keith, let's see. Hello, Tom. Keith. So many things had to happen to get me to that moment. Oh, yes.
We've all been there.
We were all there.
Ignore things, pretend things didn't happen, and then it's like, boom, 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 boom. Here we go.
Here we go. Let the fun begin. Well, look, it's been a great hour. And this thing really kicked
fun.
It was, but unfortunately, we must roll. But fortunately, you'll see us back in another hour. So come on over to YouTube.
Yes, we're talking the 80s. A time frame that most of us really love.
Oh no, almost went Devo on that one. If you want to go, up your mama back. All right, so anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna get that hat and do the show with that hat one night.
Yes,
we will.
Please
I'll send you a hat. We've got to do the Devo hat one night. So Charles and those thank you so much for being here. It's been a blast. Rhonda, thank you so much for hanging with us and talking to me tonight about this and giving your input. It's amazing. Oh.
Yes, I did. Excellent show. Oh, thank y'all. Please come join us every Sunday. We're here. Same time, same place.
And he heads at that and pat that there. And we're all gonna. Aw, thank you. Kev, thank you.
See you in an hour.
Yep. See us in an hour. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going back to the 80s. See y'all there. I'm dropping the time machine. Let's go. I got the time. Yeah.
So let's stay there for a while if we can.
Exactly. Let's see what we didn't see last time. Anyway, Travelers and those again, thank you for being here. This has been an amazing ride. To all of our affiliates here at the R.I.F.T Nation Network, thank you for your support. Thank you for getting us out there. Thank you for being here and inputting in the chat. Thank you for everybody that's come from other networks. Hey, props to you. Thank you so much for being here as well. It's been a wonderful ride, and I had a great time putting this together. Fortunately, I've got a lot more to talk about. So,
yay!
But don't forget one more thing. This Wednesday, it's what's going down.
11 o'clock.
It's what's going down.
That's always a fun show too.
Yes. So we're going to see what happens out of that one. So we will see you guys in just a little while. Thank you for being here. Make yourself get up and move. Don't stagnate yourself. Get moving. There's things to be done. And as always, virtue be yours.
Do good stuff this week.
Ooh, yes, do good stuff.